What if somebody remote views the seed phrase? Actually, we are doing some research on remote viewing. So I took an investment in a company called Immortal, and they build these amazing chambers that are multimodality. So they're red light, vibroacoustic, molecular hydrogen, pulsed electromagnetic fields, and sonic, so sound. And so they put all these things together, and it puts your body into kind of a different state. And it's in its infancy, and they're just about to do a major upgrade with their platform. But then there were some discussions about, well, could we use this technology with remote viewing techniques to massively enhance and focus in what Project Stargate was trying to do, and Sunstreak and these other things that the CIA was working on with the DIA and other agencies throughout the 80s and 90s. So one of the things we're going to see is that we can do a roll-up where we take some of those old CIA guys that are now over at the Monroe Institute that ran Project Stargate and combine it with that technology to take the remote viewing training to the next level. And then what I want to do is an objective test. So I will take artifacts and however that onboarding technique works for remote viewing, take those artifacts and bury them on my ranch in random locations that only I know. Then I'll have people go through the training program and see if they can actually locate through remote viewing those items. And, it's a big ranch. It's 11,000 acres. So it's pretty fucking difficult to find stuff on it. And, maybe you get super lucky and you find one, but what's the probability of finding all five, for example? It's basically zero, assuming no knowledge transfer has occurred. So we have an objective way we can imagine how one can test these techniques in their specificity and granularity. Because I'd like to actually replicate what the CIA did in the 80s, where they say they found the Ark of the Covenant using, it was Project Sunstreak, and there's some location for it and so forth. I think using this upgrade in technology, there actually may be an ability to do that. Now, what's the scientific reason that remote viewing could work? Now, in hypothesis land, people like Roger Penrose and others believe that the brain could be a primitive quantum computer. It's called the Oort-Orch theory. Well, if it's a quantum computer, then brain vessels, the microtubules, could quantum entangle with other things and potentially communicate through these quantum channels with other things. So remote viewing would be a special instance of entanglement where your brain entangles with something and you gain some sensory perception of that thing through that channel. If it's quantum entangled, there's no transmission medium, which means that you wouldn't pick it up with conventional electromagnetic spectrum or sensors or things like that. Now, there's something called the telepathy tapes. If you look at it on YouTube, and a friend of mine, Jeffrey Tarrant, who runs the Neural Meditation Institute, did some of the research here. And he's a very credible, great scientist, he's a PhD researcher, and we've worked together on some projects in the past. And he studied these nonverbal autistic kids who are so attuned to their caregivers that they almost have a telepathic bond. And so what the caregiver will do is they'll take like a tablet or a laptop and they'll look at something, and then the kid will sit, facing a different direction so they can't see what's on it. And let's say it's a number like 9573. Well, the caregiver will see it, and then the kid will just tap it out on the screen. And how could they possibly do that? I mean, it's just an infinite number space, right? And they do it trial after trial after trial. And that doesn't make any sense unless you have quantum entanglement, because they're so connected to each other, and the other senses are weak because of the autism strengthens other senses. So those parts of the brain that are capable of entanglement are hyper refined, and through familiarity, they entangle with, the people that are closest to them. So it's an interesting hypothesis. Is it falsifiable? Perhaps, perhaps not, but I don't care if it works. So remote viewing is some of the things we'll do, and it'd be fun to collaborate with Monroe on something. They've been around for a long time. They're the ones that came up with the whole binaural beats thing.